guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shakia and welcome if you're new. This video is going to be for those who are thinking about going to college. In this video, we're going to be talking about how we can get there inexpensively and on a budget without drowning in student debt afterwards. So I know everybody has like their different ideas about the importance of college and going to college, and I know it's different for everyone. It's not required for you to have success, and I think a lot of people are realizing that, but you know, there's still a lot of people that like to have that as a backup because not everybody wants to just go and be an entrepreneur, or maybe that's just not everyone's goal, or you know. I myself, I don't mind working, you know, a 9-to-5 job. It is what it is. I like to be able to just clock out and not have to worry about work. But yeah, so everyone's different, but this is for those of you who are going into college and are excited for getting that education. So keep watching. All right, so the first thing you can do that's gonna save you money when it comes to getting into college or going to college is to go to a community college first. I'm telling you, this will save you so much money because a community college is way cheaper than going to a four-year university, especially off the bat. Eventually, if you want to go to get your bachelor's degree, you will eventually have to end up in a four-year college. That's kind of the route that I took. I started out at a junior college because it was just way easier to commute to. I didn't have a car at the time, so I was able to take the bus to my community college, so it was just way easier to commute there from where I was. So I just went to the junior community college, but I'm telling you, the credits are literally half the cost of if you were in a four-year college. So I think it's a good idea because you can get your basic credits out the way, like your humanities and science. I went for a business degree and I had to take sciences and music and all these things, and it's kind of like, I know there's a whole thing about that and taking classes that don't even directly relate to your degree. Yeah, that's a whole nother story, but if that's got to be the case, then why not do it half price and just do it at a community college? So the next thing is to find a job. Getting income is obviously going to help you reduce the amount of loans that you may have to take out when it comes to going to school. So it's really important to have some money coming in. It could be a part-time job. It doesn't matter, just any type of income. You don't have to be balling at this point. It's fine to help with food, to help with getting your books, to help with transportation to school. You just need those things. And being able to saving that money as much as you can is really going to help to be able to use that money that you saved to put towards your student bill, because it allows you and gives you some leeway when it comes to not having to borrow as much money when you are going through college, and every little bit helps. So my next tip is to stick with the public college. Private colleges, the amount of money that a private college costs is, I don't understand. I don't know what goes on in those four walls through a private college, but for the money they are charging you, I am curious. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if you're gonna go into a job interview and people are gonna look at your college that you went to and be like, oh, this person went to a private college, and that's gonna make the biggest difference. I feel like honestly, at the end of the day, the experience that you bring to the table is going to count more than the name of the college that you went to, honestly. So why spend twice as much when you can learn what you need to learn at any college, honestly? Just go to a public college. You'll get your degree just like the next person. It's fine. Another thing is staying within the state. Going out of state and being considered an out-of-state student is robbery. Okay, I don't get why they charge you literally double the amount just because you don't live within that state and you decide that you want to get your education there. Maybe there's a reason that I just don't know. I just didn't do that much research into it, maybe. I don't know, but it's definitely way more to go to be an out-of-state student than it is just to go to college within your own state. Or if you can find an address, maybe you have a friend or someone that you're staying with, and maybe even change your address. I don't know, find some way to consider yourself a a resident of that state if you need to go out of state, so you don't have to pay double the price to go to school. So another tip is to stay living at home, and not living on campus saves you a lot of money. If you live at home instead with your parents or your family, and you're really not paying rent, or you're paying very little money in rent, and then you're going to school and just commuting to school, you will save so much money as opposed to paying room and board. So that's another tip, is staying at your parents' house will save you so much money. But I do understand there's like that stigma, and people want to live kind of like that college experience where you're on campus and you're going to the academic clubs and, you know, other clubs, and you just really want to experience the whole, what all college has to offer, you know. And I was feeling that way too. I kind of wish I could see how it was like to stay on campus, to really be immersed in the whole academic and college experience, and have more of that social life, meeting people that you will be lifelong friends and all those things. I just commuted to school. I went to class, drove in, parked, went to class, went back to my car, and drove right back home right after class. Like sometimes I'll go to like the student center and get something to eat, and I'll sit there and eat. But most of the time I just went right back to my car and just sat there, relaxed, played some music, did a little studying, a little cramming before the next test. But at the end of the day, I am glad I'm not paying back tens of thousands of dollars in loans, because I wanted that experience. So another way is to look for scholarships. Scholarships it's pretty much free money. So see what scholarships are out there. They literally have scholarships for everything, things you wouldn't even imagine they have a scholarship for. I myself, I wasn't as diligent as I could have been when it comes to looking for scholarships to reduce the amount of money I had to pay to get through college. But there was one scholarship that kind of found me. We had a professor while we were in my 4-year college, who was basically telling us about this scholarship for business students in the business school. So she told us about it, you know, the first time. I was like, yeah, you know, the likeliness of me getting this scholarship is so slim, I felt like, because everybody, who doesn't want free money? So I'm like, oh, everybody's gonna be all over this. Like, the chances of me putting in this time and effort to write this essay and do all these things, and then I'm not even gonna get anything in return. And then she mentioned it again, and then the third time she mentioned it, she was like, you guys, like, literally, I encourage you to apply for this scholarship. Like, literally, there's not much competition. Like, basically saying that nobody is really applying for the scholarship. We just need somebody to put in an application at this point. And I was like, well, if that's the case, you know, I might as well do it. So that's when I did what I had to do. I wrote the essay to get my bank statements, and then something financial, like my recent pay stub or statement or something like that. And then I sent it in, and I actually ended up winning the scholarship. I won that scholarship, so I was super excited. Yeah, so you never know. There really may be low competition when it comes to a lot of scholarships, because a lot of people, like myself, are kind of like lazy and they don't want to put in the extra work to apply for a scholarship and then not even end up getting it. Like, I wrote a whole essay for nothing. No. So I'm glad I got it. But because she told us that there was a little competition, so I was like, all right, fine. So yeah, it was a $2,000 scholarship for the next upcoming 2 semesters. So $1,000 for the next fall semester and $1,000 for the next spring semester. So that definitely helped out, because I didn't have to take out $2,000 in loans, and I just used that scholarship instead. And the final thing, which is probably the most important thing when it comes to going through college on a budget, is applying for financial aid. Apply, especially if you are under a certain low income bracket. If your parents make under a certain amount, it makes you more qualified to be able to get federal funding to go to school, which they call grants. And grants are free money, literally. My entire ride through community college was paid for by the government. 1, because it was cheaper, which is one of my tips, and 2, because I applied through FAFSA. So make sure you do that if you want to at least get a potential of getting free money to go to school. You never know, especially in this day and age with a lot of this talk about getting rid of student debt and trying to have all this forgiveness and all these things. You know, they may be even more lenient when it comes to giving out grants to go to school nowadays. So I would definitely look into it. I would try it because you never know. So yeah, guys, those are pretty much my basic tips when it comes to getting through college on a budget. Some of the tips that I used: going to community college, living at home, applying for FAFSA, looking for scholarships, working through college, staying in the state, and a public college will do you just fine. So yeah, guys, if you have any other tips that you want to add that helped you get through college, you can definitely leave that down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.